Hey, what's up everybody? It's your mortgage expert, Brian McCauley here. So are you a buyer in this housing market and you are pre-approved, but you're looking to make an offer on a certain property or a bunch of different properties, but you're not in love with the homes and you're unsure exactly, do I want to make an offer? Do I not want to make an offer? A lot of people get put in this predicament and they make a mistake of not throwing out an offer and a contract on the house, and they end up thinking twice about it and they lose the property. So today I want to teach you about a strategy that we've been using called our catch and release strategy when it comes to making an offer. Stick around. In this video, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about catch and release. All right, so all my buyers out there, as the market continues to heat up, sometimes people find themselves in this specific predicament, and I'm going to teach you how to have your cake and eat it too. Let's talk about a few examples I've had in the past with some clients where they're pre-approved with us. They're out shopping with their realtor. They come across a house, they like it, they don't love it. And what happens is they're not exactly sure if they want to make an offer on that house, or if they want to make an offer on the house, what price do I want? What terms do I want? How long till I want to close? Do I want to ask for some closing cost credit? All of these things that have to be taken into consideration when making an offer on your house. And just full disclosure, your realtor is always the best person to help you with that strategy. But as your mortgage partner, I like to come in as well, have everybody in the same huddle, and use this catch and release strategy to benefit you if you put yourself in the situation. So a lot of times what people do is they will come across a house, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, they want the house to be an 8, but maybe it's a 6. And they sit around and go, I don't know if I want to make an offer on this property. Let me think about it for 2 or 3 days. They go home, they fall asleep, they think about it, and all of a sudden they come back to their agent and say, hey, I actually want to go back to 123 Main Street and make an offer on that house. The agent goes, man, I'm sorry. We waited too long, 2 or 3 days. Somebody actually ended up putting an offer on that house and it's under contract now. And the person goes, gosh, I wish I would have made that offer sooner, but it's kind of scary to me because if I make an offer on the house and I don't know exactly if I want it, and all of a sudden the contract gets accepted, then it's mine. If I don't make an offer on the house and I think about it, and then I go back and I decide that I want it, and somebody else has already made an offer on the house, then I'm stuck and I missed out on the house. So the question is, what do you do? Well, I'm gonna use the old shoes at the mall analogy that I try to, speak in analogies to teach everybody. And this is kind of how it works, okay? If you've ever been at the mall and you've passed some type of department store or whatever, and you've seen a pair of shoes that you like but you don't love, here's my strategy and my idea on this, and this will make sense here in a minute. If you like the shoes but you don't love them, I would tell you just to buy the shoes, keep them in the bag, keep them in the box, take them back to your house, put them in the closet, fall asleep, wake up the next morning, and then see how you feel about the shoes. If you still want the shoes, keep the shoes, they're yours. If you don't want the shoes, no problem. Take the shoes back to the mall and return them and get your money back. So this concept is the same way I want you to think about when it comes to buying a house. Number one, because it works. Number two, it's about speed, and it's about making sure that you control the narrative. But number three, as the market heats up and there's less and less inventory, you as the buyer are gonna have less time. Time is not going to be your friend, and so you have to make quick decisions in a short amount of time, which doesn't always feel good, but at the same time, that's how the game is played. So I want to talk about this catch and release strategy for the buyers out there on how you can create more space and give yourself more time without making a bad decision. So let's go back to that example again. Somebody comes across a house on a scale of 1 to 10. They want an 8, it's a 6. Let's say they say, hey, this house is listed for $600,000. I'll offer them $600,000, but maybe I want some concessions, or maybe I want a couple days to think about it. So most people back away, think for a couple of days, go back and make the offer, and come to find out somebody else has already made an offer and the house is under contract. Or they're in a situation where maybe they're not going to wait a couple of days. Maybe they want to make an offer on the house, but the realtor says, hey, there's somebody else that's making an offer or already made an offer, so you better come with a strong contract. Now the person gets anxiety of like, oh my gosh, this house is $600,000. Somebody else made an offer. What do I do? If I don't make any offer, I miss. But if I'm going to make an offer, where do I offer? How high do I offer? What are the terms and the details? So again, negotiate this with your agent. It'll tell you the demand on the house, but the catch and release strategy comes into play and is always a winner for the buyer in these scenarios, because you can do the following. In your contract, there are a lot of legal language and a lot of paragraphs and terms. One of those clauses in the contract is called the option period, okay? So the option period, an easy way to think about it as a consumer and a buyer, is a cool-off period. It is a period in which you bake into the contract and write in, I want this many days. If the house becomes yours legally and they accept your contract under the price and the terms, however long the option period is, we'll just use 5 days for an example, you have 5 days to literally do whatever you want to do. It is your option to think about it, walk it and talk it, get an inspection done, run more numbers with me, do all the things that you want to do as a human being in that amount of time that makes you feel good about buying a house or not buying the house. That's your option period. It's your insurance period. And then what happens at the end of that option period, you as the buyer, if you're under contract, have two choices. I like what I'm seeing so far. I've done my due diligence. Let's move forward and I want to close on this thing and make it mine. Or I don't like what's going on with this property. You know what? It's not my flavor. It's not my taste. I changed my mind, or I ran some numbers, or I found something in the inspection. It's just not for me. I'm going to terminate, cut the cord, give it back, and we're all good. So those are the two options. And it can simply be that easy, but a lot of times what happens is people don't think about this option period as a strategy. The catch and release strategy is, hey, anytime you're in a situation where you're unsure about the property, you're leaning towards it, but you're not 100% all in, or somebody else has made an offer on a property, you can make an offer on a property as strong as you want, whatever the numbers you want, whatever the terms that you want, all the details that you want. But the number one thing when you do this is you want to make sure and have a good option period written out in that contract. I say no less than 3 days. I love 5 days. Anything longer just gives us extra time. So use this hypothetical scenario. House is listed on the market for 3 days, $600,000. The buyer's going with the realtor. They're like, I'm not sure what I want to do. I'm not sure what I want to do. They wait 3 or 4 days and they go to make an offer, and that person says, hey, we already got an offer on the house, contract accepted. Sorry, you're too late. So the right thing to do in that scenario is go with your realtor. You find the property. You think, man, I'm not really sure. Go ahead and write up an offer at 600,000, 605, whatever you think is fair, whatever you think you and your agent talk about. Put that offer in, just write a 5-day option period. All of a sudden the seller and the seller's agent gets your offer first and says, hey, this is great, we'll accept it. Well, for you, it feels great. Awesome, that house is legally mine. Now I'm under contract. But the thing for you is you've got a 5-day window. You've got a 5-day option window. You've got insurance against it actually being yours legally from a pending standpoint to think about it, right? And so the catch and release is go out there, catch the house with the contract, make sure that you write an option period in there, and then in that option period, if you need more time, if you need more space, if you want to do more diligence, use that time to think about it. And then if you like it, keep it. If you don't, terminate, AKA release it back to the original owner and the listing agent. But what happens is you as the buyer don't miss out on anything, and you'll control the narrative. So again, it's very common in this market where there's thin inventory, there's fast-paced decision-making. A lot of people don't like making a decision that fast. And I tell everybody, hey, just buy the pair of shoes. Who cares? Buy the pair of shoes, take it home. Now you can think about if you want the shoes or not. Do I like the color? Do I like the style? Do I like the price? I'm not really sure. Let me think about it. But the truth is, you have the shoes and you control the narrative. It's just that with a pair of shoes, there's no option period, right? You may have 30 days to return it or whatever the policy is of the store. It's the same thing on a house. Write up the contract, make a strong offer, do whatever you want to do a short close. You and your realtor strategize and talk about what you want to do, but by throwing a strong offer on the contract and going as high as you want or short as you want in the closing time and having the other side accept that offer, now you control the narrative, now you have the shoes. The number one important thing is though, if you're going to do this, and this is your strategy to get the house under contract, to give yourself more time to actually think about it, you must write that option period in there for 3 to 5 days. So that way you give yourself time to figure it out. And if it ends up being a great deal, continue forward with it, move on with it, you'll be happy. If not, you can terminate, cut the cord. All you're gonna lose is the option money, a couple $100 to $500 depending on what they allow. But again, you'll catch it, it'll become yours, then you can decide later if you wanna release it. Same concept as the shoes. Buy it now, think about it for a few days. If you want it, keep it. If not, take it back to the mall. But what happens if you go see those shoes, you're not really sure about it, you go home, you wake up the next day, you're like, I want those shoes. And you go back to the mall and somebody bought the last pair of shoes. You're like, dang, I'm out of luck. It's the same concept with the house. So as you guys are out in the market looking at properties and you like them and you may not love them, or you run into a scenario where like, I really love this house, but guess what? 4 other people do. And so the house is listed at $600,000 and somebody's like, hey, I've got offers above the list price. I can't tell you what it is, but you got to come strong. And you're like, gosh, I don't know what I want to offer on this house. That's a lot of money. I'm unsure. Thought process is offer 620 in theory, lock the property up, make it yours, then come back and go, all right, I got 5 days to think about it. Maybe I can get with Brian, maybe we can call an appraiser, maybe I can get with my realtor, figure out exactly what the inspection looks like. Let me do all these things to bring me to a decision so I feel good one way or the other. But the downside in a market like that is you're not gonna get that time on the front end to make that decision. And if you try to take that time, in most cases, you will miss out on the opportunity and somebody else will jump on that property and it'll get under contract and you'll miss your window. So the catch and release strategy is very smart when it comes to making aggressive offers, short offers, high price offers. Build in the option time. That is your insurance period to where you can catch the house, think about it, and decide if you want to release it or you want to continue forward. Listen, so hopefully you found this video useful heading forward in the market. If you did, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, even share it with somebody that you know that could benefit from this video. And if you want to have a conversation with myself or our team about this catch and release, about anything mortgage related, buying a house, refinancing, getting pre-approved, do us a favor, call us, email us, text us. We're always here for you. Until next time, stay tuned.